Hi, do you remember the TV adverts from the 90s that reassured you that you were going to be feeling so amazing during your period that you would be going roller skating with dogs pulling you along? Now, whilst we may not have actually believed quite those dizzying heights of unreality, there's such a gap between the fantasy and the reality, it is no wonder that we end up feeling vaguely disappointed with ourselves. Not because we believed that the neighbours' golden retrievers were going to be towing us along on our rollerblades, but because there weren't actually any images showing the reality of what actually happens with our bodies. And really, things haven't improved very much over time. So before I start talking about how to fall in love with yourself, I need to acknowledge why we fall out of it in the first place. And firstly, our bodies do change a lot. Not even over long periods of time, just within any given month from one day to the next, we can be unsure of what our body is going to be doing. So when we look in the mirror, we're almost surprised and often disappointed in what we see. Add in things like childbirth, weight loss, weight gain, things that can happen like breast cancer. Our bodies are constantly changing in ways that we have no control over whatsoever, and we can really easily get a disconnect between how our bodies actually look and how we think that they should look. These can be two completely different things. And also, a lot of the time we tend to think that it's just us that has this scar or this stomach pouch or sagging skin, because these things aren't talked about very much, people don't share them, so we end up feeling like we're hiding some kind of shameful secret underneath our clothes. So firstly, I need to tell you, your body is completely normal. There's nothing going on that is so uncommon that it's just you. The thing that you're conscious of, everybody else has got their own thing that they are conscious of. So even all the people that you're secretly a bit jealous of, they've all got their own thing going on that they are conscious of with regard to their body. So you have absolutely no reason to be ashamed of your body. Secondly, when we're younger, in our teens, through our 20s, we get to be quite self-centred, not necessarily in an obnoxious way, but we don't have other priorities, we can prioritise ourselves. And at that point in our lives, we tend to know really well our likes, our dislikes, how we want to spend our time, because we only have to consider our own thoughts, our own feelings. And then we get older and our priorities shift massively. I'm sure that everybody with children will agree you don't prioritise yourself, but we're really good at putting our partners, our jobs, our extended family first a lot of the time, and we go to the bottom of the pile. So it's like in the movie of our life where we used to be the central character, we have now become supporting actors in the movies of other people's lives. We don't think of ourselves, we get lost as individuals in all of the different roles that we play. And we forget who we are as women, as individuals, and often in particular, we forget who we are as sexual women, because that becomes so at odds with the roles that we're playing the rest of the time, being a mum, in our jobs, all of that kind of stuff. So we lose track of who we are and what we want. So the keys to starting to fall in love with yourself are firstly being a lot more accepting of the changes that your body goes through and loving it despite its faults. And then also we need to reconnect with ourselves as individuals and listen to what we want to do, how we want to do it, and not just be thinking of ourselves in terms of supporting other people all the time, and listening to ourselves a hell of a lot more, which, having said it, I know it's not that easy to do, but if we can start to understand what the problems are in the first place, we're putting ourselves in a really good position to solve the problems going forward and to actually start to feel a whole lot better about ourselves. Thank you.